This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast on Friday, July the 8th, a.k.a. Blackout Friday. This podcast might be the only thing working today. Time of recording, we're all in the Stone Age.
Then you know that there's something wrong with July 8th. If we're the only, if this is the only thing working, you're in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. But yeah, Rogers is down. Across the country, nationwide outage. So phones are down, bank machines are down, point of sale, debit machines down. It's down. Everything's down.
We're recording this just after 9 o'clock. I bring it up because it's not live, as I think you can all tell. So hopefully it's all fixed by then, because then you can hear us. But boy, by the time the business and the banks open, this has got to get fixed.
And it's nationwide.
Right.
So you got to, and not that the Quinte area isn't an important area of the country, but we're talking Ottawa, we're talking Toronto, we're talking the West Coast, major centers in the country.
And of course, we can't possibly overemphasize the impact that it has on everything. You don't, I mean, commerce for sure, but how's via rail do without, this kind of communications? And
well, even
I mean, Pearson isn't flying planes anyway. That's its own wreck.
Oh, don't even get me started on the airlines. But you're right. And as I pointed out, and it happened, it's not the first time we've had one of these companies have an outage. It wasn't that long ago. Was it Fido? No. Bell had an outage back in March, I want to say. I don't know. It wasn't that long ago. But it's a reminder, again, how reliant we have become.
Yeah.
On technology and our little cards, whether it be credit or debit, to get us through. Because on my way to work this morning, I thought, I should probably stop and get gas, and I want to stop by the bank and make a deposit. And it's like, I don't think I'll be doing that today. I think I'll have to wait.
My wallet, I have $65.
Ooh.
Nobody carries that much money anymore. Just we old guys. But my wife larfs. She laughs at me when I'll go to the bank and just get, I call it walking around money, just to have in my wallet. And my daughter will be like, Dad, I haven't had money, like cash in my purse, wallet, in I don't know when the last time was. Andrew, my son, same thing. Works at Boston Pizza, so they get tip pool. So he'll have, like $200 and $5 bills when they divide it up, right? And if I'm swinging by to see him, whatever, it's like, Dad, can you just drop me off at the bank? I want to put it in. So he'll deposit all, and I'll say, why didn't you keep $50 to walk around? It's like, why?
Yeah.
Like you just had $5 and $10 bills. That's perfect. You didn't want to just have it on you for time when you needed money? When would I need money? Well,
even sharing money between you and I, because occasionally we'll buy lottery tickets, and that's not the best example because they're just a couple of dollars. Well, but if you were picking something up and I said, would you mind picking something up for me too? I seriously doubt there'd be any cash pass between us.
Yeah.
I would just e-transfer you the money and boom. Yeah. You wouldn't see it. You wouldn't touch it. It would not be tangible. It would just go electronically.
It's a staff event going on, and I don't want to say it in case that individual is listening, but we could drop some money off toward a gift, $10 if you wanted to. So yeah, what did everybody do? I mean, I went down and gave money. Did anybody else e-transfer?
Yeah.
Because who
has cash? And today it could be harder to get until they...
And here's a funny example of this, and I'm going to pick a year, and since it's not a famous story, you can't call me a liar, but I'm going to say 1967.
1967.
Maybe it was 1966, I don't know.
Okay, we'll go with 67.
But the Beatles were out for lunch.
Okay.
And Mal, their road manager, was in charge of paying everything. Beatles didn't pay for anything. Right? Like whenever they
it was
paid.
Looked after.
Yeah. So the manager, but I think it was after Brian Epstein died. That's why I think it was maybe 1967. And oh my gosh, Mal didn't have his credit card or whatever. They were there having lunch and nobody could pay the bill. And George Harrison reached down and took his shoe off. And in the bottom of his shoe was a 20-pound bill. And he said, I have carried this forever, waiting till I needed to actually pay for something. So when I hear that today, it makes me laugh that, Even the Beatles carried cash just in case they had to pay for something.
You know what the weird thing is? I never have cash on me.
You never do? You
Never.
don't?
I have cash on me today.
Yeah, that's great.
Just oddly enough. No, but I'll have some spare change,
Sure.
but never have a bill. And when this started to come out this morning, we started to hear trickles of it and rumblings that this was going on from people, and saw it on social media. I was like, and I was going to get, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Boom, it was there. It was like fate stepped in and last night and put that in my wallet. I was like, I do have a bit, because again, I was going to go to the bank and deposit it.
Right.
And now I have it in my wallet.
Get yourself a little bit of cash.
Just to have. But to have on a rainy day or walking around money, not a lot of people do it anymore.
Yeah, I always keep loonies and toonies around too for McDonald's dollar drink days. Oh yes.
Wayne has a stash in his door in the door handle in his truck. That's where he keeps.
Yeah, because that's when you need it. You reach in, drive through, you take it out, pop it back in, a little bit of parking.
I love those days.
So that is what happened this morning. It's going around the world, and hopefully by the time you hear this, it's over and everything's okay. If you're a small business that relies on it, boy, how many kicks can you take, right? Come on. Karma, stop it.
Well, and then the worst part, because we talked about this morning too, especially around lunchtime. If people are getting hangry, it's not a good scene. We talked about how hangry, a slang term that we've started to use in the last few years.
Used to be a funny thing.
A funny thing to describe someone who was getting angry over hunger
and angry.
Science has now shown that it is a true emotion.
It is a condition.
Hangry. Yeah,
it is
get hangry.
I can't wait until it's a medical condition and you can actually stay home with a doctor's note.
How would you stay home with that? Just eat something. As the Snickers commercial said, just eat this. Just have a bite of a Snickers.
I have a headache. I can go home and rest.
True enough.
Well, Mark,
true enough.
Mark, stop being so stressed. Well, I'm going to go home because I'm hangry. I'm hangry.
You know what? Okay, July 8th, 2022.
Hangry day.
I'm trying to think of what I will do if this becomes a thing that, like a medical leave type thing.
First of all, you got to have a really good chat with Ben because Ben.
My child gets so hangry all the time. And I do feed him.
I was going to say,
he eats.
Does every meal he thinks this is the last one I'm ever going to have?
No, because it takes him maybe because it takes him forever to eat it. But there's food available to him. I'm not starving the kid, but he gets hangry and like
irritable.
Oh my gosh. You don't want to
like a light switch. He's great. And then all of a sudden,
kinda, yeah. And it is anger. Like the kid flips out. So it is. It's very much like a switch. It's like, okay, you need to eat something right now. Have a banana. Have something. Here's dinner. Here's a whole plate of spaghetti. Just eat it, please.
And it'll take him an hour.
Oh my God, so long. We will have the rest of Ben, I love you. I do.
Yeah.
But every night we will have the table cleared.
Yeah.
Like the rest of us will have finished and gotten up and left the table, and he'll still be there trying to eat his supper.
Get up in the morning, go to breakfast. He's still there.
Still there.
Can I have seconds? Oh my gosh, hurry up.
But research shows that yes, if you let yourself get that hungry, you become hangry.
Yeah, I believe that.
But you said it doesn't happen to you.
No, it doesn't happen to me, but I can believe it. I guess because I'm old and I know that I'm fortunate enough that if I start to get a little bit hungry, I mean, look at me. Do I look like I've missed a few meals?
Stop.
Like I used to be, like I think when we got married.
We all used to be.
I know. Because my son's that way now, and I always tell him, you just hang on, Andrew.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming,
dude. Because when I was I think when I got married, I bet you I was 140 pounds.
Oh my God, you look sick.
Yeah, I was skinny. Like
because you're tall, 140 pounds. Like that's nothing for you.
I would have to put on weight to be considered lanky. Like I was beanpole.
Yes.
And now, no, I'm just slightly
healthy.
North of 200.
Oh, whatever.
Maybe 205. I don't know. But it's all in the gut because I'm a guy.
But you don't let it get to that point.
Yeah, and if I'm feeling a little bit hungry, actually, I kind of feel good about it. Because it's like, good, I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll be skinny again because I actually believe. And then we talked about, here's something we talked about on the air yesterday we didn't get to talk about in the podcast, is what can everybody do that's a simple thing that you can't.
Mm-hmm.
And we mean that generally to a listener. Everybody else can do it, from like whistling, for example,
Yep.
snapping fingers.
Which I find funny that someone can't do.
Some people can't do that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The thing I cannot do that everybody can do is I can't burp. I can't belch.
This shocked me because I am sure I've heard you burp. Like
No.
not belch.
Right.
But just let a little like
Yeah, like I can make a little bit of a noise come out, but you know how people can, like rear their head back and go, "Arr."
yeah.
I can't
that's
do
gross.
that.
You do, that's a good thing.
No, but I would feel better because there are times I walk around with heartburn
That you
for like
want to.
so long. Now, I can emit gas other ways with alarming frequency.
Oh, good.
I can crop dust people walking behind me. I don't even tell them.
God, Mark.
Oh, I can fart I can
okay.
fart on command.
Great. All right.
Yep. There
Well,
are times,
that's good. So you make up for it.
Sure. Right.
That way.
But that doesn't always make me feel as good as like a really great belch can when you've had either pop or something.
Yeah.
And like every kid in the world can do it on command. I can't do it. I can't do it. And so I'm convinced that if I could, all this down here would
You
be
think
gone.
that's just air?
It's just air. That's what I told Kat.
Oh.
And she reminded me, I'm not a doctor. You don't know that. And I said, you don't know that, because if I could.
You're not a doctor either.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me
So
that that's
you don't
not
know
right.
that that's not true. You're just guessing to hurt my feelings. We've been married 35 years. These are the conversations we have. But anyway, so I
Well,
want
you
to
were
thank
the
all
only
the
one.
listeners. Yeah, they
Yeah.
can't burp in the entire
Yeah.
Quinte region.
that came forward and shared that. Perhaps there is
Yeah.
somebody else, but you were brave enough to share that. So that was really good, Mark.
What was
and so
yours?
I guess mine's rolling R. There's a lot of things I can't do.
Can't roll your R's.
I can't roll my R's.
Try
I
it.
overthink
like
it.
Tim Hortons, right?
Yeah.
Roll up the rim.
Yeah, see, you got me doing it again. Yeah, my tongue gets caught.
You can't?
No,
Okay.
it gets caught on the
Are you
top of my mouth.
tongue-tied? I know a friend of mine is tongue-tied.
No,
I don't know
not
what that
tongue-tied.
means, by the way.
When it's like there's an extra, when the piece of skin under your tongue is longer, so your tongue, like you can't,
Oh, okay.
like
So
you won't
it's
be able
even-
to lift your, I believe it's not, you can't lift
Okay.
your tongue up to the roof of your mouth
Oh, okay.
or roll. Like I
Yeah.
can roll my tongue.
Right?
And it's funny because the kids and I and Wayne we've compared this. So Ben and I can both roll our tongue. Wayne and Nathan can't.
Okay. Right.
So it's genetics too, right? And what was the other thing? Nathan's a really great whistler. I can't whistle to save my life. Wayne can. But there was something else along those same lines that Ben and I can do, Wayne and Nathan can't. Or vice versa.
Right.
It's really weird how that, they both came from the two of us and
Yeah.
how they've picked up different traits from us. But I found that interesting because I always thought everybody could roll their tongue.
Yeah.
And no, they can't. Not everyone can.
Can you touch the bottom of your nose
Nope.
with your tongue?
Nope.
Let's leave it at that.
No, I cannot.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
Okay. But wink was another one. A couple
Wink.
of people
Some people
mentioned
can't
wink.
wink, yeah.
And again, I'm like, how I know it takes practice.
Yeah, and I
But-
love to watch when somebody who can't tries, because it looks like the hardest piece of concentration they've ever done. Their whole face, like, am
know.
I doing it? No, it's supposed to be really simple.
Last night Ben's trying to get his one eyebrow to raise like The Rock.
Okay.
I can't do that. I can't raise just one eyebrow. But he's like, Mom, am I doing it? And he's tilting his entire head. I'm like, well, kind of, because now the angle of your head has your eyebrow higher than the
Yeah.
other one. But you're right. It is funny to see someone try to do something they
They've
can't. They have no
never
idea
done.
how to do it. And
Yep.
to see them try to do it, it's like, no.
And they know that everybody else can do it. One woman said, can't tie her shoes. And
Like a
I'm the same
grown-up.
way too. Yeah.
They can tie their shoes, but how children are taught with the bunny ears.
Yep, that's the way I
And
do
you're
it.
right. And
Still.
really?
Still, I can't.
Well, so could this listener.
So
That's-
I'm months away
Fiona, yeah.
from Velcro shoes. Like I'm just.
No, you're not.
Velcro shoes, can't burp, going for a walk in the neighborhood. There he is.
Kim Foster's was probably the best because the question again was what
simple thing can everybody else do
and
that you can't?
And he said, if you ask my wife, keep quiet.
Yeah, can't do
He
it.
can't keep quiet.
Yeah, can't. Tried.
Can't do it.
Fail.
Can't do it.
Couldn't do it. So thanks everybody for sharing that. That was great. What else went on this morning? We got talking about things that go on in the pandemic. Like, for example, Zoom calls. That's the most obvious thing.
Never
Some
again.
people say, I never want to be in another Zoom call.
Oh God.
For
no.
two reasons. One, they
Please.
did a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they're over the novelty of it. But secondly, they feel because it was in the pandemic, and the pandemic, when it's over, it's too much of a reminder of the pandemic, so they refuse to do one. So in other words, that was a pandemic thing.
Kind of like a trigger.
Yeah. So I don't want to do anything that was the pandemic. I never want to wear a mask again. I never want to have to show ID again. I never want a Zoom call again. Like whatever it was.
But
I want 2019 again.
Yeah.
But that's the point. But some of this stuff was good and well organized. And you brought up the point about being able to make reservations, like for the beach.
Yeah.
We want that to continue. We never thought of that before the pandemic, but now, hello, reservations.
And that really became apparent, not last summer, but the summer before, when all the crowds started coming to the county.
Yeah.
Was that before the pandemic even?
2020 a little bit, but 2021 was the biggest.
Yeah,
they started
where
doing
we
the
saw the
reservations
lineups and it would just everybody. We were overwhelmed, I would say. Areas were just overwhelmed with tourists. So yeah, provincial parks specifically started to apply the registration, and it was fabulous. Number one, we knew we were going to get in. It was guaranteed that we could go because again, people were getting turned away at like 9:00 in the morning because so many people were showing up. It's not crowded. We could go anytime we wanted. You knew you had that spot. And we did it for other things too, area museums and some events we went to. Got our tickets. It was for a specific time. We went, no problem getting in, did our thing, and left. And it was so relaxed and just nice. Didn't have to fight crowds, didn't have to be around too many people. It was just good.
So hopefully they'll keep that going.
I would love that to keep going. I would continue that, yes.
Half the people that took the survey said that they are okay with distance health care. Like I had one doctor's appointment by phone. I was told the doctor will phone you at 1:00, be around your phone. And it's like, this is about the coolest thing ever. If it really happens, 1:01, my phone rings. Mark, it's doctor, and we're going to talk about this today and how you feeling with that. And do you have a home blood pressure kit? We do because we're over 55. So this is the sort of fun we have. Some people have popcorn makers. We have
a blood pressure
We have a blood pressure machine we play with on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we went through all this stuff, and it's like any other concerns. No? Okay, well, that's great. There you go. So I'm more likely now to trust wanting to do that than to go and make an appointment because I'm a guy. I know that's a horrible stereotype. But most men will wait until the limb has been severed before we'll go to a doctor of our own volition. So it was nice.
Would you be more apt to go to a doctor now if it was like that? Like, would you go more often or would you be more willing to see them?
Would I consult a doctor more often if it could be by phone?
Yes.
Yes. You know why? Because I automatically assume unless it's bleeding or in massive pain that there's nothing wrong with me. More likely, my wife will say, you should go see somebody about that. Like I have sunspots on my face. We were at a cancer clinic so fast one year because she was just sure after spending so much time outdoors that she at least wanted to get it looked at. Then came back and said, no, it's fine. I never would have gone. God bless my wife for caring more about me than I care about me. But she saw that, said, you're going to go. And I never would have gone.
But that's part of the reason. Well, I just like the one-on-one in person anyway.
Yeah.
But for those reasons, too, I'd almost think that a doctor, as great as it is to do over the phone, and I love that option.
You're right.
I like having the option of doing that. I would prefer to see them in person.
Right. And get the stethoscope on the skin.
And two, I like seeing their face because I read.
So you can tell when they go, ugh.
Yeah, you can't see that over the phone.
What?
You say something and they react. You don't know how they're reacting because they can keep their voice even.
Biggest thing that people say they want to keep is shopping, curbside shopping. We've liked that. We like that now. We think we'd like to keep that. There is a
convenience to it, certainly.
Yep.
And I did know,
We're good with that.
You brought up the point too. I kind of argued it because I don't mind going with my kids most of the time.
Pandemic babies.
But pandemic babies or just families with multiple children, small children, it is convenient to call ahead and say, you know what, this is what I need. Show
pick it up at the curb.
They'll put it in the vehicle for you, and away you go.
Don't have to go in with 3 kids.
Nope.
I think before it was like, well, it just sounds like it's something weird. Then it became a necessity. Yeah. Now we're good. And stores are good at it, too.
Yeah,
so
they become very good at it.
Get what you want. Timing's good. But the funny thing is, with that one article that I read on it said that now I have a 2-year-old who was born, like, say, in March of 2020. So their whole life has been pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what it's like to sit in a grocery cart, and I don't think I want to find out what they're like in a grocery cart, whether it's a fun novelty or whether they're having none of it. So just drop my groceries off at the curb.
50-50 chance.
Although I was in a grocery store the other day, and there was a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old side by side. The boy was 3, the girl was 2. And he was carrying on like a minion from the first Despicable Me movie. He was sitting there rocking back and forth going, Beto, Beto, Beto. And I wanted to follow him the whole time. Life is going to be good to you
That's what I mean. Sometimes it's quite entertaining.
Yeah. Parents weren't stopping him because he's having a great time. He's entertaining his sister. He's entertaining me. And if I'm entertained, I shop more.
Short of throwing a fit and screaming in stores.
Meltdown.
It's kind of fun to see kids back in stores. It is a novelty, though, I will say. There aren't, even now, I don't see a lot of children in stores yet.
Yep. So people want to continue to do distance shopping, online shopping, and curbside pickup. That's one of the big things.
I did become a fan of the online shopping.
Yeah. So that's not going to stop. That's not going to go away.
The convenience of that was kind of nice. Not just for the kids, but for myself. I didn't have to go into a store.
I'm pretty sure for the rest of my life, I'm going to mask up in the wintertime when I go into crowds.
Yeah,
I'm going to do it because I never got a cold. It's got nothing to do with the pandemic, and I don't care if people look at me. I don't think people will anymore. I think we've normalized it to the point there from, Halloween till about, I don't know, maybe the end of March. Going into a grocery store, I'm going to be in a crowd for half an hour. Yeah, I'm going to wear a mask.
Not only will it keep you healthy, but I imagine it'll keep you well spaced too, I'll say.
Yeah, well, if they get too close, I'll cough. No. Oh my goodness, I feel awful.
Because I think you're being smart, but I'm not going to lie. When I see a person with a mask, I do automatically just kind of give them a wider berth.
Good.
Just kind of.
I don't want your germs.
Exactly.
I don't want your cooties. No. So the pandemic hasn't been all horrible for that. There's some stuff I think we're going to keep.
Good,
and the term is
good things.
We can't use the new normal because we all hate that phrase.
Hate that, yes.
The new normal. They call it a hybrid future. Some of the old.
Okay, so when we do
a
the
hybrid future.
The phrases of 2022. Hybrid.
Yeah.
Or hybrid future will be on that list.
Some of the old, some of the new.
Which I think, is fair. And that's, I think, the best way that we can move on. Mm-hmm. You got to take some of it with you. You can't go through something like that and not have some of it follow through.
From the pandemic, other than the illness or checking numbers, that you will never do again that came out of it as a result of the pandemic, even if it's nothing that started, something that went on? Because I don't think there is. I don't think I have anything
that I will never do again.
That as a result of the pandemic, I'm done doing something.
No.
Like
I can't think of anything.
I wonder, because I think some people talked about shaking hands. They were never going to ever shake hands again because of the pandemic and possibility of, moving germs around. I'm never going to use a paper towel in a public washroom again.
I will say it's weird getting back into it with all those little things. I have shaken hands since.
Sure, I have too.
We were in Toronto this past weekend, and I will say I was much more aware of what I was touching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
we were at the ball game.
So we were at the ball game. We were at the GO station. We went out for lunch at a restaurant in downtown, and then we were at the stadium. So there's a lot of surfaces, and I will say I was very much aware of what my kids were touching. Mm-hmm. And Ben, on the flip side of it, again, every sanitizer station we saw, the kid had to sanitize, and it did eventually become a joke. But at first, it was just almost automatic. Every time he saw one,
right.
Kind of brush his hand along the bottom, get some sanitizer, and
walk along. He's
going
to live forever.
But
he'll starve himself because he takes forever to eat, but he's well sanitized.
But I can't say I wouldn't do anything. It's just I think I'm more aware of when I do it now.
Yeah.
Like when I hug somebody too, I ask before I do it because it's getting back into that comfort of being able to do it again. But I know I can't say that I would stop doing anything I was doing before.
I always ask because of the restraining order. But
you still have to stay out of my space.
Yeah, I still have to ask people.
Yes, you have to.
And it's like, did you want to do this grocery line or can I hug you? What? What? Did you want to go first, or can I hug you?
Explain your intentions before.
It's okay. He's had his shots. He's just friendly. Have a good weekend. What else going on this weekend? We got
Waterfront Day 2 today. All weekend. It's going to be a great weekend. I cannot wait.
Tribute bands.
To see the pictures after this
tonight
weekend.
For a trilogy at 9 o'clock on the OLG main stage. They do Journey, Foreigner, and Styx.
Oh,
and for an added bonus, I will sit around. You can mouth to me.